Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to 2021. We missed you. It's been a couple of months. We haven't heard, we didn't hear from us, so we are back in 2021. Hopefully, this is going to be an extraordinary year. We are very excited, and in fact, we started with the right foot, and we have one more webinar on the beautiful region of Veneto. Today, in fact, we have the webinar called Wellness in the Land of Venice. This is, of course, organized by the Italian National Tourism Board of US and Canada, as usual. I want to thank you especially because, again, we are kicking off in the right way the new year. All our friends that once again are participating and flocking to our webinars, our friends from the US, of course, and Canada, but also from down south, Mexico and Puerto Rico. Thank you very much for taking the time to learn more about beautiful Italy. And of course, this, as I said, it's the one more chapter on the multi-part series of all the webinars in the beautiful region of Veneto. And today, of course, we are focusing once again on the wellness and spa and all the treatment. We also, that we need them so much, especially after this long year. Now, before we start, as usual, I'm going to go through a couple of housekeeping things. For all the attendees, as you know, your microphone and webcam will be turned off. We won't be able to hear you or see you during the entire course of the presentation, but you can ask questions. So you can do so by using the chat option on the menu on the upper right corner of your screen. By clicking on it, you can ask all the questions that you want. We have people attending the chat line, and most of the questions will be answered in writing during the presentation. If we don't get through it, do not worry. We will forward all the questions to the organizers, and they can be answered later on by email. I will, if time allow, I will read some of those questions to the presenters. So if I have a chance, you will hear some of your questions read out loud from me, and so you will get an answer right away. On top of that, as usual, we will be showing videos, which means that I don't know if it's the first time you use this platform or if you have used it in the past, but you should know by now that in order to see them in the best possible way, you should click on the view full screen options, which is once again on the same menu on the upper right corner of your screen. You click on that, and that will allow the video to cover the entire length of the screen. And I will recommend this because some of the images are so beautiful, you don't want to miss out, and you want to really have the full experience. Now, the whole boring part is over. I'm excited to have today Camilla, that she's going to really sort of bring us in this important, I think, sets of experiences that are adding on top of the mountain of experience that we already discussed on the beautiful region of Veneto, which once again is connected with wellness and spa treatment. So I want to welcome, let me read your title because I don't want to make a mistake. I want to welcome Camilla De Cumani. She's the experiential tourism manager and tour leader of Lo Vivo Tour Experience. Ciao Camilla, thank you for coming.
Hello everybody.
Hi. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for having us. So for being with us. So before we move forward, of course, as usual, I want to set the tone right. I want to show you a quick video that is provided by the region of Veneto that sets the mood and give you a sense of where we are at, and then we're going to talk to Camilla about what can we do there to really feel relaxed, and we absolutely need that. So if we can see the video, thank you very much, and we'll talk later. with fireworks indeed, all the excitement, this extraordinary destination that is waiting for us. So I am absolutely thrilled that we're going to have Camilla. Hello, Camilla. Talk to
Hello,
us
hello.
about what extraordinary things are waiting for us in the beautiful region of Venice. So I'm going to shut up, which I think makes all our attendees very, very happy when I stop talking.
So, hello everyone. Thank you for participating to my presentation. So today I will talk about Veneto and actually about wellness in region Veneto and what can be linked to this fact, and in fact the discovery of the hidden villages of our land. So who we are? We are Lovivo. We exist since 2016. We are a group of locals of tourism passionates and actually tourism professionals from hotellery and promotion. And we were born with the goal to make experience our territory in a way which between the city of Venice and the mountains. So we're specialized within the inner land. We offer complete services, unique experiences, tailor-made tours, transfer services, accommodation, and especially we are specialized on small groups. So if you have to organize a holiday for a family or a group of friends, this is actually our main core business, to take around and to make, discover, and experience our territory to these little groups. I mean, so we are based in Abano Montegrotto, which is in the strategical position of the center of the region Veneto, where you see the blue logo, because we are in the natural thermal springs of Abano and Montegrotto. It's quite still unknown to the American market, but our the secret is that, in fact, of being in the center of the region Veneto, we can reach within 1 hour all the rest of region Veneto. So it's a good key to use this place to sleep here, to spend here the night, and during the day discover the region Veneto. This way we offer different packages, like I show you where we are here, another map. So this is a more little map. So here you see in the yellow, you see in the yellow the writing of Abano Montegrotto Terme, which is close to Padova. We are just 20 minutes drive from Padova and on the feet of the regional park of Euganian Hills. So we are at thermal springs, very close to a naturalistic area, anyway very close to Padova, so very close to a city, but anyway out of the city. So this makes us possible to spend a very quiet holiday, but even also a very price quality ratio is very, very high, as we are even out of the center of the city. In here, this is the landscape of the territory we have close to. We are called the New Tuscany. Here I show you some pictures of the structures we have here. You see here the pools of our thermal springs, which are filled completely with natural warm water. So it's not warmed up. You see, we are really at the feet of this volcanic Euganian hills, because you see them on the horizon. So it's even also a very landscape, beautiful place. Here, other swimming pools of our area. And you should know that all the structures of Abano Montegrotto are all equipped with a very modern spa. And our key product is the famous thermal water for natural treatment. How does it work? This water drains inside the mountains at a depth of 3,000 meters in the Altopiano di Asiago, which is in the province of Vicenza, so quite far away from here. It stays 10,000 years under the earth and springs naturally here in Abano and Montegrotto. The fact of staying so much time under the earth makes it possible that this contains a lot of sodium chloride, bromine, and iodine, so which is very good for lungs and for the skin. And this sodium chloride, bromine, iodine water, it springs in Abano and Montegrotto at a temperature of 70 and 80 degrees Celsius, which means in Fahrenheit degrees 176, so a very high temperature. Obviously, water is then cooled down to a temperature of 91.4 Fahrenheit degrees and fills up naturally the pools I showed you in these pictures. So you should know that even the Romans appreciated this warm water, so why not your guests, I mean. It is possible even to do very special mud therapy. The mud you see here in the picture is a patent by the University of Padova and works actually like natural cortisone because it's taken from thermal lakes we have here in our territory. It's made, it is matured under the sun and the thermal water, because this mud has all the time been covered by the thermal water, develops special microalgae, so seaweed, which then work as this natural cortisone. So during the day you can stay in the structures. During the day, discover all the region Veneto within 1 hour, and in the evening you can then chill, have a massage, have mud therapy, have just a long bath in the swimming pools, because they are even open on the evening. And don't forget about the fact that price quality ratio is very, very good, as we are uh, out of the city center. Here you see other pictures of, yeah, tell me, Francesco.
Very nice, very cool.
We have
So,
even the very
so just give me a sense of, we saw on the map already the whole this whole sort of section where you have all the different places, where you can have the different treatment. This is about what, 40 minutes from Venice? Am I reading it right?
Yeah, it's 40 minutes from Venice and 1 hour from Verona, so really in the center. 1 hour from Verona and 40 minutes from Vicenza, in the middle of region Veneto. For
All
example,
right.
as you see in this slide,
Mm-hmm.
this is an example. I mean, we have many of these packages. I mean, because for example, for here, um, imagine if you have the sports passionates, you have bike passionates. You can spend 6 days by doing other different bike trips and staying basically here during the night. So, for example, you can one day visit the Euganian Hills, the second day you visit Padova, the third day you visit the Riviera del Brenta. So, I mean, it's all names you have already heard by selling the region Veneto. Day
Mm-hmm.
5 you go to Vicenza, and the 6th day you go back to the US. The same thing you can do without the bike. So the first day you visit Chioggia, the second day you have an afternoon trip to the olive oil and wine tastings in
Oh,
our
wow.
volcanic Euganian Hills. Yes, obviously Venice cannot be missed, because we are the land of Venice. Padova, and the last day you go back. So you stay in the hotels here with the thermal springs, and all over the days you can visit something different.
So you have a
So
wide range of experiences. Pretty interesting.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead, please. So go ahead.
So now I would say we can show you the video of the thermal springs, just in order to people, our guests, can imagine
Perfect.
what we are talking about.
Let's take a look at the video.
Attorno a te c'è un universo di sensazioni e colori, di suoni, di sapori. Un territorio dove incontrare persone, condividere emozioni, assaporare momenti unici. Quando ti senti a casa e sei in mezzo al mondo, sei alle terme di Abano e Montegrotto.
Okay, perfect. So we are ready. We're nice, relaxed. We arrive in Venice. Oh, I didn't ask you. Do you also organize transfer from the airport in Venice all the way to the to the
Sure.
to the spa? Okay, perfect. So I
Sure.
arrive. I got in my limo. I have all the spa treatment, nice and relaxed. My shoulder are fine. Now let's go and explore the beautiful surrounding. Go ahead.
So, what I will do first, now I will have an imagination trip through Veneto. And
Yeah.
first, I'll be talking about two things I want you to remember, because remember, Veneto is also a bike region, because you see, as you can see here in the map, it's very well linked by the cycling lanes. All these yellow lanes are the cycling lanes all over Veneto, and we offer bike services all over the region. Um, and another thing I want you to remember is that as we are wine region, you can link the selling of the region with the well-known names you already sell. I mean, for sure, uh, people know the Valpolicella. For sure, people know the Prosecco, and ask you as sellers to visit this territory. But as you can see in this map, we have many different soils, many different locations, many different territories, micro little places where different wines are produced. And this is what I want you to transmit, because it's okay to obviously to visit the Valpolicella, but why not have a more authentical experience, more direct experience by visiting little wineries of unknown wines, like the Gambellara, for example, of the Euganian Hills. Which is this volcanic land close to the Abano. Why not the Friularo? Friularo, for example, was the last harvested wine, so much loved by the Venetian nobility, because which took the name from frigus, which is the coldness in the Latin
What's
language.
the name
Why
of
not
that? Friulano, you said? No. What was it?
Friularo? Friularo
Friularo.
with R,
Wow.
yes.
Is that a white or red wine?
It's a particular native grape of red wines, which is actually grows next to our Euganian hills. Why not have a Lessini Durello in the between Vicenza and Verona during your lunch, quite out of the Vicenza, when you just have came out of visiting maybe Villa Almerico Capra, or maybe another of the Palladio villas. Here, yeah, some slides you have to remember the names of the very important wines, but yeah, for
Wait, wait, wait.
example, now I'm talking of one of the less well-known wines is another little grape is the Dorona di Venezia, which is on this island of Mazzorbo, a quite unvisited actually island of the lagoon of Venice. This little grape was actually risked this being destroyed on the flood of 1966, and Mr. Bisol, who is a Prosecco producer, took this, imagine, one of the last grapes from the garden of an antique seller of the island of Torcello, and planted in Manzorbo this grape, and now you see
Oh.
this vineyard on the island, and it's a very particular wine which you see in the hand of this waiter. I added to this slide the saying, because it could be interesting for all of us and encouraging. Duri Banchi. Duri Banchi was what people said on the November 2019, when we had this great flood, because you see the waiter with staying in the water. Duri Banchi is what during the Republic of Venezia, it was the incitement before cannon attack, that oarsmen had held hardly the oars's in order not to lose the control of the boat. That it means, so keep holding on, stay strong. And I mean, it's a very nice thing we can everybody say to us as tourist professionals in this time. Yeah,
To give some courage to people.
yeah,
Better things are ahead.
exactly.
Believe
So
me, we
Duri
definitely
Banchi
need
to
that.
every one of us, yes. And
I think
returning to our wine trip, yeah, for example, this Dorona di Venezia wine, which is very, very particular, and
you
wine
said
is
the
sold
name
in
is
this way.
Dorona. You said, I'm sorry because
Yeah,
I'm from
Dorona di Venezia.
Dorona
And
di Venezia. That's so let me understand right. See if I understand. This type of wine you can only find a little island in the archipelago of Venice that you just showed us before. That
this
wine
one,
cannot be found anywhere else because this
yeah,
guy saved the grape.
definitely.
And is it actually a good wine? Because that's the question. Was it worth it saving it, or it's a
So
is it a
it's
good wine?
sold with a golden etiquette, as you see here in the end of the waiter, and it's sold quite only in the Venisa restaurant, which is a
Oh
Michelin
wow,
restaurant. So high, very high quality
it's beautiful.
wine, and nobody knows about this.
Perfect. Okay, now we know. Now we know. Perfect.
Yeah, sure. Now
Verona
we
wine and Venezia the restaurant. Got it. Go ahead.
yeah, this you see another picture of the and yeah, the Gambellara. It's a white, still white wine in the province of Vicenza, or the Lessini Durello, the sparkling wine between Verona and Vicenza. Here we have Giorgio, our winemaker of Friularo and the volcanic wine of the Euganian Hills. He is right on the edge of the end of the territory of Euganian Hills and the first part of the starting territory of Friularo. So here we have American group tasting the red wine Friularo, this native last harvested wine of this region. So why not spend one complete week tasting all the unknown and little native grapes of this region, because they obviously it's a completely different way to travel the region Veneto.
Hmm.
And here we are. Here we have Nicola in the winery. Yes.
So
And
basically, if I understand correctly from this, of course, beside the production, but what you're saying, the door, of course, of the winery are very open, and most of them seems to be it's almost family-run vineyard. I mean, doesn't seem like
yeah,
a massive.
obviously, this is what I want you to transmit is that Americans find in their supermarket the Valpolicella and the Prosecco, come here and want obviously to discover these wines. But it's also beautiful to go to the little familiar wineries. Like here we have a group of American women in Lisa's winery, and in next to is Lisa's wine cellar, where they can talk directly to Lisa, where they talk directly to
Producer.
yeah, to the producer, to the winemaker, which makes the experience even more authentic.
Oh wow, fantastic.
Yeah, you can experience here. We have Lisa's father experiences the harvest. You can experience the harvest during the night, and then taste the most, just pressed most. We have even a wine route in our Euganian Hills. Now I'm talking to the territory which is close to Avano, so 10 minutes drive out of the thermal springs. So when it's evening and you decide to have something special in the evening, here we have the Calici di Stelle, which every year is in August.
Hmm.
And it's a reunion of the greatest wineries of this territory. You can enter the event, become obtain this money and this special entrance tickets, and then taste all the wines of the Euganian Hills in this beautiful village of Arqua Petrarca. I will tell you about it later in the presentation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and taste the particular dishes of the region. So or why not have a dinner in a winery we organized since 2 years?
Now we
Yeah,
are talking. So you
yeah,
can have
look.
nei filari. You can where they actually had the vines. It's amazing.
Yeah, in the middle of the vines, or why not enjoy the wines in during a lunch in as a special stop on an excursion.
Very nice.
So we did an excursions about wines of our region in order to link the selling to the better known with the less known. But now we are starting with our imaginary trip around Veneto and to the hidden villages we take people to during our trips. So for example, we start from Chioggia, so we start closer to Venice. You maybe already know Chioggia. It's the little Venice. It's a little fisherman village. I remember about the fish market, the greatest fish market of northern Italy, where the fresh fish starts to and is sold then all over the northern part of Italy. And here we have one of the pearls of, because yeah, Chioggia is obviously very linked to the street food. So because as you already for sure know, Veneto is traveled both with the soul, with the eyes, and but also with the taste. Moeke you can have only twice a year. It's crabs which change the carapace, so you can have them only in April or in November, and they are fried and eaten with polenta, for example. Or
Perfect.
obviously,
Camilla, I have a
yeah,
question for you.
tell me.
I haven't actually been myself ever with to Chioggia. I made my problem. It would be fair to describe Chioggia in relation with Venice, that Chioggia is a Venice, but more sort of populated by, let's say, fishermen. So not like it's not like the expression of, you know, opulence of Venice with the beautiful palaces, Palazzo Ducale, but it's more like more like a, almost like a quote unquote village dimension. In other words, it's populated by more popular. So when you walk the street of Chioggia, you have more the feel like you see right now. Is that a fair assessment of what Chioggia is in compared to Venice? Let's say it's more like a
Yeah,
popular.
it's a more modest, it's a more popular, is even the it's it's the more popular Venice, definitely. The
Okay.
opulence of Venice, the prices changed drastically from the
No,
simple
more than in terms
Venice.
of price, I was saying like in expectation of the feel to it. When you walk in Venice, it looks like you walk in this very lavish sort of living room with everything sort of beautifully decorated,
Venice Venice
ornate.
is busy. Venice has as many tourists. Venice
Yeah,
is so overwalked. You know, Chioggia is completely different. You have the
ecco
canals, you have
surprise.
the quiet, you have the fishermen driving with their little boats in the canals. You have the uh, l- l- mm,
It's
the old.
picturesque. That's what we say in English. That it's very picturesque. It's a very sort of sort of. I think it's also feel very sort of populated by the people who live there. In other words, the fish market isn't a spectacle for tourists. That's the actual market where people go and buy fish every day.
Yes.
Got it. Very cool. Go ahead. Sorry, I was curious.
Yeah, for example, another authentical experience you can have in okay, in this moment Chioggia is busy, but busy anyway in a different way that Venice. Venice has international. Here you have many locals.
Yeah.
All over Veneto, people start and leave to go to the Sagra del Pesce, which is this this city festival each in the second half of July each year, and you just sit in the main street of Chioggia, which is made pedonal, so no cars admitted, and you sit and you enjoy the fresh fish just fished by the fishermen. So it
Oh wow.
yes. We move then, continue to the Treviso. Treviso, you already know, but I'm not talking about Treviso. I'm talking about the little villages around Treviso, like Conegliano and
Ah.
the Valdobbiadene. So Valdobbiadene, you surely know about the Prosecco production territory, but you don't know that, for example, all over this place, you have a hiking place, which is the Anello del Prosecco Superiore. It's 15 kilometers hike all around these wonderful hills. And you should know, for example, that okay, people want to come to taste the wonderful perlage of prosecco, but actually this wonderful perlage of prosecco is a long end of a process of development of this wine. And it's also
Mhm.
beautiful, yeah, to see. Here we have some our guests to discover how prosecco was
Nice.
born, because prosecco was the wine of the um, it's nice to visit the wineries where it's still grandpa who dictates the rules of production.
Mhm.
Here, for example, we had Anastasia from a local little winery. She and here we met his grandpa, and he explained us how it really works. Here we have a picture of him, how it really works with the prosecco. Prosecco was born with native grapes, and with it's actually made with different grapes, and it's very nice for people to discover this by really talking directly to the winemakers, to in the more little and familiar run wineries. You probably don't know Asolo.
Asolo,
Asolo is a
beautiful. Beautiful.
We had it's one of the most beautiful villages all over Italy. Even Mr. Rockefeller rent all the village of Asolo to marry there. So just imagine Rockefeller,
Oh,
who I'm talking about. Yeah, you have the Rockefeller in New York. You probably, this is also in the province of Treviso. You another image of Asolo, another
if
view of Asolo. So it's very, very. Tell me.
Yeah, well, I wanted to add something because I actually did go to Asolo, and I remember one of the things, if I'm not mistaken, there's a beautiful view that you have from a top. I mean, from this little sort of balcony over the valley from Asolo. Am I correct? You really have this really privileged view of the hills and the valley underneath it,
Yes.
which is really
For
exquisite.
this castle where this picture is from here you have a great view on the top of over the hills of Montello. And the hills of Montello is those what you see there in this picture. So
Nice.
it's really very nice, panoramic, very beautiful. And Asolo is one of our American tourist places favorite for lunch break, for example.
Gotcha.
And it's very close, it's very linked to our cheese experience with buffalo cheese and the Asolo Prosecco tasting, because there is not only Conegliano Valdobbiadene Prosecco tasting, but there are many different Proseccos, so it's even interesting to taste the different tastes inside these different nuances in the taste of Prosecco. It's interesting to visit Posagno. Posagno is another village, very important for the architecture. Here we see this, and it because it's Antonio Canova's birthplace. Canova, yes. Canova was born, lived in between the 18th and 19th century. He was, here you have the Canova Museum. He was architect, sculptor, painter, and he was the greatest exponent of neoclassicism in sculpture. He is also well known as the new Fidia. Who is Fidia? Fidia is the architect and sculptor who built the Parthenon. So what are we talking about? So, and we have this great architect, sculptor, and painter in our region, Veneto, in
Oh,
this
wow. I
little
didn't know
village
that.
of Posagno. The temple you see here is the modest church of Posagno.
Oh,
So
wow.
people every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. go to to say a prayer, to go to mass to this wonderful church. So just
That's
imagine.
beautiful.
Yeah, and I take my tourists to, yeah, because I really personally accompany my tourists here to this museum. Here we
That's
have some,
amazing.
yeah, and here you see on the right hand side the original laboratory of
Canova.
Antonio Canova. Yes, he was even painter, as you can see here, and the architect. This is the inside of the temple of the
Really?
first.
It
Yeah,
looks exactly like, the
this is
Pantheon in Rome.
yeah, definitely. This is
It's
the
incredible. So you have a
outside.
Pantheon in Rome in a small village in the middle of the countryside in Veneto. You can make
Yes,
that stuff up. It's amazing.
by the new Fidia. So we have a Fidia in Veneto.
It's
We
amazing.
move we move from the province to Treviso to the province of Vicenza, obviously well
Yeah,
known because of the Palladio and
sure.
all that content, but maybe what not well known as not known for the Bassano del Grappa, which is this wonderful village with the Palladio Bridge, the Alpini Bridge you see in the front here in the first picture. And it's not Bassano is not is linked with the Grappa tradition, and where we take our tourists to have this to discover how grappa is made, this grape liqueur. And obviously we have a little stop for the mezzo e mezzo in the bridge. What is mezzo e mezzo? Mezzo is an aperitif made with mezzo e mezzo liqueur and soda and lemon slice, which is
There
the
we go.
aperitivo of the Alpini. Alpini are one of the greatest symbols of our folklore. They were fighters in the mountains during World War One, and now they are an association who makes volunteer for many things all over Italy. They fought at that time in very hard conditions in the snow to free the last part of Italy to make Italy unified in 1918. So they were young boys. Now they are not young
No, no.
anymore, as you can see in the picture.
It's, the young at
Yes,
heart. Let's put it like this.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
young
were
at
young
heart.
and hard and fought and freed the last part of Veneto from Austria. And after their work in 1918, we got completely unified.
Of
So
course.
yes, we skipped to the province of Verona and to the Borghetto sul Mincio. I mean,
Ah, beautiful.
Verona is all well known for the Lake Garda, for the Sirmione, Malcesine, and
The
so
opera
on.
house.
Less known for the Borghetto sul Mincio. Borghetto sul Mincio, for example, you see how beautiful it is here. Another picture of the bridge. Um, another wonderful is what is one of the our lunch break places for the tortellini tradition. So I hope I didn't annoy you with my
No,
long
no, no, no. In
explanation.
fact, on Borghetto, I want to add something because again, it's one of the other few places that actually I have been to it, and I want to tell to the few agents that, or to all the agents that maybe had never been there. For example, Borghetto has this extraordinary experience. I was telling Camilla, it seems like Disney had decided to design, inspired by the other villages of Italy, so the perfect village experience. And if you can go back to the very first slide of Borghetto, yeah, when you see this river almost run through the village, and it's very quaint, it's very small, the food is amazing. It really is quite an extraordinary relaxing experience, but to take in this very unusual and very beautifully preserved village, honestly. So I'm glad that you actually talked about it, because I remember I spent a beautiful afternoon there. It's quite something. It's all sort of, if I'm not mistaken, there's virtually no car in these little streets. It's all walking. It's all Isola Pedonale. Am I correct? In the little village, you can.
You're correct, yeah, and it's so close to the Great Soave region, to the Great Valpolicella region, and so why not spend a quiet lunch in this corner of Region Veneto, because it's really so pleasant. So I mean, you just can take beautiful memories from it. So back to
Exactly.
America for
Uh, that's
sure.
that's absolutely extraordinary. Thank you, Camilla. So, grazie. These are really, really exciting ideas that I think our agents can take with them.
So I just had an idea to show them, our guests now, the video of Lovivo
Yeah,
to make some impressions of our really strictly native territory of Uganian Hills. So I would say go
take
on
a look.
with our video. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Wow. Who
So
wouldn't
here
want to
we
go
are.
there?
Yes. I hope you
Perfect.
enjoyed with the pleasant music.
I would love to be there. I mean, I have to say one thing that always strikes me as really incredible is the fact that, when you talk about, the Veneto region, and of course these beautiful art cities, sometimes it's underestimated how really extraordinarily beautiful are sort of these areas, in the south part of the region, where you have those wine countries, but also the north, as you mentioned already, Lake Garda, and then go all the way up to the Dolomites. Really, how many options really this extraordinary region has to offer in terms of not just destinations but experiences. Like today we touch, of course, at first with the wellness, but you just mentioned already sort of the culinary option in terms of wine and olive oil. So really kudo, and I think that video really gives a sense how also quiet a beautiful experience in Veneto can also be, on top of course, of the hustling and bustling of the art cities, which you all know. luckily are very popular, and hopefully they will be back to what they were supposed to be. So thank you very much, Camila. Was really interesting. Go ahead.
Yes, so I continue. We go now back. We go now back to where we started. Where from
Oh,
Abano
I want to ask you one
Montegrosso.
thing, just to show you that
Tell
I
me.
actually remember. Go back to the picture before with that pasta. That pasta, if I'm not mistaken, it's typical of Borghetto. It's like a love something. Is that, am I remembering it right? The little tortellino. It's like
Yes,
a.
it's linked to a love story, definitely. So
No, I remember. I remember. I remember.
why not sell this to lovers? Because I mean, Veneto is the city of love with Verona and Romeo and Juliet story. The very first in actually in region Veneto, nobody knows, but Shakespeare wrote the story about Romeo and Juliet in Verona, but it's not set in Verona because Mr. A nobleman from Vicenza wrote the story in the province and set it in the province of Vicenza, better said in Montecchio Maggiore. There are two castles which face each other. I mean, from one castle you can see the other on the other hill. And what did Shakespeare? William Shakespeare took this story and modified the story and made it
Into Romeo and Juliet.
yes, in Romeo and Juliet and set it in Verona.
See, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Now I remember that. I thought it was a nice story. So go ahead, please. Even the
So yeah,
pasta, it's has a story.
um, we yes. We are based in Abano, where you see the yellow symbol at the feet of Yoganian Hills, which is this landscape. It's a regional park of 19 square hectares, and we are wine, as I already told you, wine production area, and it has a great enormous different diversity of soils and animals and flora. So it's a great territory to experience contact with nature. We are were the Ugandan hills born? They were born 47 million years ago with a volcanic eruption. This volcanic eruption was undersea because we had actually tropical sea here so much time ago, and these little hills were born as islands over this tropical sea. Through time, the volcanic hills started sleeping. So when you come here, don't worry. It's not like in Hawaii. It's sleeping volcanoes, completely green. And the landscape that these volcanoes make is really, really pleasant. I mean, it's definitely a, a destination which will surprise you. We are even olive oil production territory. As you here, we can see Mr. Guerino Calegaro and Mr. Roberto Calegaro from our olive oil mill smiling at their fresh pressed olive oil 2 years ago. We took this picture on 2 years ago during a trip. We go there each Wednesday and Thursday afternoon, so they really know us by heart. Yes, and all I show you here a bigger map of this region, of this regional park. It's all pointed of little villages which have a very great interest in under the cultural point of view. Here, for example, we have the Monselice. It's the 20 minutes drive, you see with the blue arrow, the Abano, where these thermal springs are, and with the red arrow is Monselice. So it's 20 minutes drive, so very, very, very easy to reach.
And that's the village that we see on the right? Yes.
It's the village we see on the right, and it's the village where we go each Monday afternoon. Where since 4 years I take my Germans, my French, and my Americans or English-speaking people and make them experience this land. So what is Monselice? Monselice is a walled town.
Oh, wow.
It has the panoramic walk of the seven churches. It's seven churches, you see them here You should imagine that this is the only Jubilee Shri, the 7 churches, which is equivalent to the pilgrimage of the 7 basilicas of Rome. So the Pope, 500 years ago, wrote a letter and permitted these little 7 Shri churches to be the equivalent pilgrimage as the 7
Churches in Rome.
pilgrimage of the 7 churches of Rome. So we have a little Rome here in Veneto.
Yeah, the Pantheon. So you do 2 things. You have the Pantheon, kind of like and now you have this. Perfect.
So what a concentration of content. On the feet of the 7 churches, we have this museum, this castle.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Original, completely furnished. I mean, so this is how it looks like inside. So,
Oh my
and
God.
it seems
Really,
even
it's a
to be
castle.
lived by ghosts. So maybe your tourists want to visit to know the ghost. It's Avalda. It's completely furnished, and it has the second greatest original medieval weapon collection of Veneto. So it's even interesting for weapons passionates. This
Nice.
is the 7 churches.
Oh my
On
God.
December of the 27th December of 3 years ago, I took this picture during our trip. So imagine how
beautiful.
pleasant it is and how experiences the landscape is in these little unknown places. This is the same walk, but in August of 2 years ago. 8, 10, 15 minutes from Monselice, we have the Este, another walled town. This is the gardens of the city of Monselice, of Este, sorry, in spring. So how beautiful look the flowers and everything. We have a flower festival each year in April in Este. And we have also the tradition of prosciutto berico euganeo DOP. You surely know Parma ham, but why not know the unknown berico euganeo DOP, which is even more delicate and even more soft? Well, I take my guests there and they can discover with Mr. Fontana the production process, and are always guided in English, so they guess and understand everything what is said, and then in the end can taste this product. And Este is also linked with literature, tourism. We have here the Villa Kunkler, which is where Byron and Shelley, these great names of romantic English romantic literature, stayed in 19th century, stayed here for a while. And it seems that Mrs. Mary Shelley wrote here a part of his Frankenstein. So when you read your Frankenstein at home, remember it was written before this magical sunset 200 years ago. So
incredible.
Este is also the city of the Panaghiaccio. This is what nobody knows this for sure. It's the ice cream with a ganache of chocolate in the middle. It's patent, so you cannot copy. So you are not allowed to copy it at home. You have to come to Este to taste. And it's made by this Mr. Schizzerotto you see in the picture left-hand side. We continue our trip to Montagnana. We are 20 minutes drive away. It's another walled medieval town with a great historical center.
Yeah.
Here we have some pictures of Montagnana. And we go here then to Arco a Petrarca, which is one of our greatest pearls. We have a trip to Arco a Petrarca each Thursday afternoon because it's highly, 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 highly recommended, highly requested. It was the winner of the award as the second most beautiful village over Italy in 2017. The house is where Francesco Petrarca, which is one of the fathers of our Italian language, stayed the last 7 years of his life, spent here. He's decided to go away from Padova because Padova was a quite stressful city for him. I mean, he was lived in the 14th century, and he was already 67 when he left. So imagine how old for this century. In 14th century, people were 30, 35. He was 76. Sure. And he went to this beautiful village and lived in the house you see on the corner right, sorry.
Where they have the gate? That's the gate?
Yeah, on the left you have the gate, and on the right you see the picture of
my God, it's
of
so
his
beautiful.
house. It's a museum. and it can be visited. It's still almost like he left it. So how lucky we are to visit this. It's 700 years old, this house.
Jesus.
And
So pretty.
this is the Arco a Petrarca. Arco a Petrarca has even gastronomical stops. Like here we have the Brodo di Giuggiole tasting. We go to Alessandro's production atelier with his father. He makes this product which is made with red dates, which is actually a Chinese fruit. Romans took here through the Silk Street, and it grew up so well here that in the end it became typical product. It's mixed with apple. It's mixed with grapes, pomegranate, and these red dates, and it's very, very, very sweet.
Oh wow.
So it's very, I can say, after my 4 years experience, this is well appreciated by American women, especially.
Good.
Yes.
Is this an after dinner kind of thing? Is that the kind of, or you drink it?
As you prefer. I mean, they patented even aperitif with it. So they
aperitif. Okay, gotcha.
They patented aperitivo. It's after lunch, after dinner. Is you can put it even on ice cream.
Oh, okay.
You
Wow.
can have it as punch, warm. So many different things. Yes.
Perfect.
Our region is pointed all over, except of the hidden villages, many different interesting monuments. Here, for example, we have the gate of the monumental garden of Val San Zibio, which was one of the greatest and most beautiful gardens in Italy in 2003. So, and this is 15 minutes from Abano. Then we have the villa.
Okay, am I reading it right? Galzignano.
Yeah.
Galzignano.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Is a Baroque garden, 400 years old. Yes.
Oh my
Planned by Bernini. So Bernini maybe
another Roman.
enlightens you something in your mind about great architecture in Italy. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, we have the Villa Emo. We have the Villa Molin. This is all 10 minutes from each other. We have the Villa dei Vescovi, the very first Renaissance Venetian villa, already built in 15th century. Venetian villas started being building in 16th century.
And this whole museum villa, you cannot stay in these villas. These are just to be visited.
No, you can sleep inside. I mean, many of the villas you can sleep. Many of them are museums, even some are vineyard wineries. Is so much different. People entertain them in many different times. So it's a very historical experience, very particular. Here you have the wonderful view from the lodges of the Villa dei Vescovi, the lodges of Villa dei Vescovi.
Beautiful.
The apartment. This is the museum of Villa dei Vescovi. Another villa, Villa Draghi. So all them are pointed all over the territory. It's just 10 minutes one from each other. Here we have the Castle del Cataio.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 30, 150 pieces. And
wow.
Rooms, sorry. Yeah, the sunset from the panoramic view from and the salons of the Castello del Cataio. See how beautiful, painted by Zelotti, which was one of the greatest helpers of Veronese. Veronese surely takes you in mind something about Venetian painter. Here we have the Villa dei Montecchia, which is restaurant, Michelin restaurant, so very high quality, hotel, museum, and winery. And so many unknown villas. Imagine we have over 4,000 all over, pointed all over region Veneto.
Incredible.
Here we have the Villa Caconti, so many different names. We have many possibility in the Euganian Hills to have a bike tour because we have all around the cycling lane, the E2 cycling lane, 65 kilometers all over the region, once around the hills, but completely flat. So very easily madeable by everybody who is not too trained. We have a hiking possibility, over 20 hiking. Now it's actually 27, just to be more precise, because we had it just in January 7 new. For families, for hikers. So in this volcanic region, 10 minutes from Abano, we have all these possibilities: horse riding, climbing. And I want the last attention now for you. We have Padova, 15 minutes from Abano. I don't tell about the Palazzo della Ragione, which you surely know, the Chiesa di Santa Giustina, and the university, the second university of Padova. Padova is the city of the first heart transplantation of the world.
Oh,
In
wow.
Padova, yes, the first woman got her university degree, so we are a feminism capital also. The
Perfect.
anatomical theater, yes, the very first anatomical theater of the world. The St. Anthony Basilica, which is also no, St. Anthony Basilica is much appreciated by American market. It visited over 6.5 million visitors each year. But what I want you to remind is our market experience. We are the unique sellers of the covered market experience in Padova. The Padova is at the 40 minutes from Venice, so if you have guests in Venice, remind them about this experience. This experience includes 4 tastings of typical products. People can choose among different menus and then can taste the products directly at the sellers at under this covered market, which is one of the oldest covered markets of the world, and it's really in the beating heart of the city of Padova. Here you have some nice women from Padova taking selfies in the market, and here we have different possibilities of accommodation. It's now I've almost finished. It's the B&Bs all over. If you prefer something more cute, more little, more familiar, here we have the B&B Francisco's in Arco.
Is that an example of places that you can service your client, that you can?
Yes.
Yeah.
If they prefer hotel, we have hotels with the pools, as I told you first. If you prefer, we have the B&Bs, or we have even the apartments in the villa,
Historical
in the
places.
Venetian
Yeah.
villas. Yes, here this is a really photo of the apartments in the Venetian villas of our region. So maybe if you want to contact us, we have. Yes.
Incredible.
I thank you for your attention. I hope
this has been very, very comprehensive, and I want to thank you because the effort of trying to squeeze in just a few minutes so much in terms of the wide range of experience that you sell, the destination that you serve, the different type of sort of attractions that are available. It really is daunting. I want to thank you. I think that I was reading the chat line, most of the questions were answered by our, but people attending the chat line. So, and I'm sure you're going to be inundated by emails requesting more in-depth information. So, Camilla, I want to thank you. This, of course,
thank you for this opportunity.
Very first webinar. Again, congratulations, because you made it through it. It was a long list of things, but I think that you really get a sense of incredible things that people don't even expect to see in the beautiful region of Venice. So again, I want to thank you. I want to thank all the attendees that once again have participated to our event. Please look for the invitation for the next events, and also for the survey. We're gonna send us the surveys as usual. Let us know what you think. What are your feedback? If you liked, if you didn't, what we need to change. We'll try to address that once again. And finally, of course, as usual, this is a multi-person sort of operation. I want to thank my colleague from Toronto, Salvatore Sabrina. I want to thank my colleague from Los Angeles, Emanuele Fabrizio, and of course my colleague from New York, Caterina, Cosmo, and Marzia. And with this, I want to thank you. Ciao. See you the next one. Bye.